Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aquarius August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as August goes, Venus will be in Virgo from the 21st until the 31st. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, if you're unattached at this time, Aquarius, you might connect with a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It might be for a very deep, non-superficial connection, or maybe somebody you might meet in some 8th house field, such as psychology or astrology or something with the occult, supernatural. It could also be another way this may manifest is that sometimes this could be about spending money on some surgical matter, and given it's Virgo, it could be something Virgo related, such as something with the spleen or the small intestines. And I mean, like let's say if you have this making, and a lot of this could be dependent, predicated on aspects this makes to points in your chart. Say if it makes an adverse aspect to your Saturn, it could be some kind of blockage in connection with the small intestine. But this is something, I mean, anyway. Also, too, this could be also about valuing punctuality, reliability, dependability, and also hard work and industry with people you may be in an intimate or sexual connection with, people in shared resources situations, or also people you might know in an 8th house venue, such as somebody in insurance or in or with taxes. So anyway, it could also be about spending very frugally on 8th house related matters at this time, or if you get an inheritance, it might not be the largest amount given that it's Virgo energy, but it still could be a possibility given that you're talking about Venus, about money, and you're talking about the 8th house, which is connected with inheritances. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Mars will be in Leo as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 18th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could be manifest in perhaps contentious, acrimonious situations, more so than usual with a grandmother, a significant other. Could be with open adversaries. It could be very loud, boisterous arguments. And also, if you're in competition, this could be about wanting to dominate in something, in some kind of competition. A lot of energy put into dominating something in competition, whether it might be sports or what have you. This could be a time to keep in mind that when you're talking about Mars and Leo, it could be about very strong dehydration levels. You're talking about the planet Mars, the fiery planet. You're also a fiery planet. And then Leo, of course, fiery sign. It could be where you have to really be careful in matters if you're doing something, collaborating with somebody on some project or endeavor or in some kind of competition. This could be something where you need to be more prudent than usual, Aquarius, because there could be a greater propensity for higher excessive heat levels, especially you're given during the summer period. So just make sure if you're in a hot, acrid area especially, that you're really staying replenished at this time and hydrating yourself. If you're in doing some kind of involvement with 7th house matter, that it can be where it's exerting a lot of physical energy at this time. And so anyway, and also you might connect with a Leo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or one that embodies Leo characteristics, maybe for a sexual liaison. It might be somebody that you may know in some 7th house field, such as somebody with the law or somebody in some kind of connected with negotiation, or it could even be somebody that it might be somebody that might lead to a real significant other situation, a marriage partner in some cases. Next thing up. Well, Mars will be in Virgo as far as August goes, from the 18th until the 31st. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, in some cases, Aquarius, if you're unattached, you may connect with the it could be Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo traits. It may be for a sexual liaison, but given it's the 8th house, it could be for a very deep, intimate, non-superficial connection as well. Now, in some cases, this could manifest in surgery, because you're talking about Mars is about surgery and cutting. The 8th house is connected with surgery. It could be something connected with something Virgo related, such as something with the spleen or the small intestines. And also, too, the situation with a sexual or intimate, someone you're in a sexual relationship with or an intimate connection with, or in a shared resources scenario, may be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. Could be about a lot of derogatory remarks, very critical, judgmental Virgo energy, a lot of complaining and nitpicking about things that could be even just simple things like hygiene or some health related matter being disorganized, something that, which of course is the opposite of Virgo, but matters over organization, and that could be about somebody being disheveled or disorganized. So anyway, people, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, some cases this may pan out. This could be perhaps in some cases this could be very fortuitous, perhaps for humor in groups, clubs, and organization, and even in attaining goals and aspirations just by being that incorrigible optimist, by being very expansive and optimistic and upbeat at this time. Now, it could also, in some cases, when you talk about Jupiter, as I've stated in previous videos, it could also be very paradoxical. It could be very benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in a lot of cases, some cases this might enlarge and expand rather foolhardy, reckless, over-optimistic, over-exuberant, over-enthusiastic, even self-righteous behavior, perhaps with friends, acquaintances, people you know at groups, clubs, organizations, people you may know on social media, and it might even be indicative of your behavior and your interactions with these people as well. Now, also too, this could be a lot of hope and optimism in connection with goals, with your aspirations at this time, your future. It might be about just being very positive as far as these matters go at this time. And also, well, anyway, and also too, this could be about being very auspicious for Sagittarius goals and aspirations, such as sports or philosophy, religion, something with higher education, publishing, advertising, or translation. Next thing up. Well, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, you might be a little bit more reclusive at this time, more so than usual, Aquarius. It could be very strongly about solitude and seclusion, and you might feel like isolating yourself from the world during this time. It could be very introverted, introspective period. I have this placement natally, and I'm obviously, I'm very practically reclusive. I'm very introverted and introspective, and that would be a vast understatement. Some cases, too, sadly, this could manifest in the loss of a father or some older person, like a grandparent, or is somebody that might have been a mentor to you. I have this placement again natally, and I had lost my father when I was 3 years old. He succumbed to Hodgkin's disease, sadly. Now, this could also be about looking at this with Saturn in the 12th, again, very introverted, introspective period. Could also be about working laboriously in solitude and seclusion, or in doing so with very consistent Capricorn-like effort, and even working hard perhaps for those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry at this time as well. So, and also too, this could be a time too where in some isolated cases, one may be dealing with some kind of depressing mental illness. Could be some kind of depression at this time. And there may also be at this time where you might be bearing your sorrows more secretively, more so than usual. And anyway, and also it might be a time too where you might, I mean, this is about often where the unknown may put you in a very strong state of fear and trepidation. A lot of people can have this regardless of transits or natal placements or what have you, but it could be more emphasized with when you're talking about a transit like this. So anyway, people, hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. Next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest, this could be about maybe seeing something shocking when you delve into your roots, your traditions. It could be about using the internet very strongly to get in touch with this, such as going on Ancestry.com. You might be dealing with more unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior from family members, people you're close to home with, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, and might also manifest in Uranus-like traditions at this time, such as something connected with astronomy or astrology, innovation, new ideas. It could be going to some kind of new technology or innovation type of expo. It could also be about really perhaps expressing these Uranus type qualities you may have at the core, such as being unorthodox or unusual or unique, unconventional, eccentric, even future oriented, more independent than usual. I mean, you are Aquarius, can be anyway, but this could really reinforce it at this time and bringing these qualities out more at the core. So you really would be really expressing it perhaps even more at this time, total more so than usual, those Uranus and Aquarius like qualities and characteristics. So, and it might even indicate that you might even be more innovative and ingenious at the core, more so than you realize. So anyway, well, the next thing up, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest is that you need to be really careful regarding monetary matters and guard against deception, duplicity in this part of your life, and you may be more susceptible to financial fraud at this time. And really, and also seeing the fine print in any kind of financial document at this time as well. And also on a positive note, though, this could indicate in some cases making money through something Neptune related, such as something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, something with pharmaceutical work, anesthesiology, anything that could be Neptune related. And also about really it could be about a lot of self-sacrifice in your possessions, your resources, your money at this time, more so than usual. But just at the same time, it could be where your financial situation may be a little bit in disarray, a little bit maybe chaotic at this time, and maybe somewhat nebulous and unclear. It could be a time where you're just working sporadically, or you're getting money from this source, then another, and some time goes by, you don't get it. Or it could be the dissolving of perhaps your financial situation, or some kind of dissipation in connection with it. But at the same time, it could also show great idealism in regards to what you can do as far as generating income. And also, I mean, the second house is also about self-worth and self-esteem. Now, some cases, this could be about perhaps the dissolving of this to some degree, or maybe you really are, there might be some confusion as to what you may be doing in terms of attaining maybe greater self-esteem or self-worth at this time. It could also be about the buying and selling of Neptune items. I mean, it could be something connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, photography items, anything connected with cameras or video, or something. It could be maybe items like with poetry books, perhaps at this time something with poetry in it, or anything again that could be, it could be something of a fantastical nature. It could be some kind of fantasy writing or fantasy game, anything that could be Neptune related, something with magic or something that has to do with illusions. I mean, it could be a magic kits or anyway. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest, this could be about perhaps hidden adversaries. It could be people that are very powerful, controlling. It could be people in Pluto fields, such as the astrology, supernatural, the occult, a death profession, such as working with somebody that's a coroner or recycling. And also, too, it could be, in some isolated cases, it could be about some kind of very powerful or controlling mental illness. And it may be, I mean, a lot of this, of course, could be predicated and dependent on aspects this makes to points in your chart. If it makes, say, an adverse aspect to your natal Mercury, or say it squares your third house cusp, it could increase that propensity for that, perhaps. And anyway, and also at this time, you might feel like you might have some kind of issues with power. You might feel it's a little bit restricted at this time, where you don't have that power and control in general that you ordinarily would like, because remember, the 12th house is about limitations and restrictions at this time. So, and also too, this could be about maybe some transformation you may make in solitude and seclusion. It could be through working out vigorously. And at the same time as well, this could be also about delving deep into some 12th house related matters, such as spirituality or the metaphysical, which includes astrology. So, I mean, those are some ways that this may manifest at this time. So anyway, people, and also the 12th house could also be associated with suicide, so you might be at this time trying to maybe delve deeper into that subject. Oh, and one last thing, I almost forgot that. I don't want to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Now, in some cases, this may manifest in the actual or literal death of an aunt or an uncle or someone that is very prominent in your private life at this time, but that could be isolated. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aquarius August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Pisces August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.